Slave DiBiase.
All right. Let's adjust here. Let's adjust just a tad bit. Bam. I think we good right there. Yeah. All right. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending on whenever you digest this content. This is another live sesh with the Offenders Initiative podcast. It's your boy Slave DiBiase, aka Victor Von Slay, aka Slay Daniel Richards, aka Tony Spark, aka got so many shades you thought I had a lazy eye. And we here, man, on this Good Friday. This good Friday. How y'all feeling? CinemaCon has been in the streets with all these different announcements, y'all. We had Warner Brothers and Sony did their thing. Now it's time for Marvel and Disney. You know what I'm saying? And we didn't really, on my show here during these sessions, we really didn't get into what was up with Sony, and we didn't get a description of what happened in the Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse trailer. By the way, Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, the actual trilogy, will be concluded as of next year. So they're going to have Beyond the Spider-Verse come out next year. They have trailer descriptions of that, as well as Avengers Doomsday. Robert Downey Jr. pulled up. This was a serious situation. The Russo brothers pulled up. This was a serious situation, y'all. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, man. Share the live. Tell me what you're smoking on today for the sesh. Tell me what you're smoking out of and where you're from as well. First of all, I'm gonna get us a little appetizer while I roll up. I'm a little bit of a irresponsible stoner today. I should have already been rolled up. I don't like rolling up on cam, but we're gonna have to do that. What I will tell y'all is I found something. I'm gonna tell y'all something. This AI is getting a little too crazy, and in a minute here, when the movie companies and Hollywood don't want to do what we want them to do, we're gonna end up doing it ourselves. I'm telling y'all that right now. I have something that I want y'all to check out. Let me see. We right here with it. Yeah. Okay. So somebody has worked up an AI version of what they think Dr. Doom versus the Council of Kings and Avengers Doomsday should look like. So this is bringing back Jonathan Majors. If they're going to write off the character of Kang for a little while, or at least just the council, this would be the most positive way that you could possibly bring that circle to a close. Hold on for a second, y'all. I'm about to get this together because this is cinematic, and whoever has done it, they getting really, really good with this shit. So we just gonna light our palette with this right here, right quick. This is I got this off of Twitter, y'all. Let's check this out. Dr. Doom versus the Council of Kings. It's AI, but I honestly believe this is the way that shit should go. Check this out, y'all.
Silence! The exiled one has fallen. The one who called himself He Who Remains no longer guards the flow of time. Our shadows recede. And now, the multiverse shall behold its true sovereign.
Oh shit. Evo coming.
Kill him! What have you done? I removed the noise. Where is it? It's no longer under our control. A throne beyond time. Give me a name. Loki. I can help you. I don't think so.
Fire.
We'll meet soon, Loki.
Tell me if that isn't a fire opening to Avengers Doomsday. Tell me if that is not a fire opening to Avengers Doomsday. I don't care what you say. Don't get mad at me. Get mad at your mammy. Whoever did this, they were on one. These folks is getting really, really good. I'm telling you. By the way, today's strain of the day is none other than from JK Distro. It's creme brulee. Yeah, creme brulee. Creme brulee, you know. Can y'all see that? Can y'all see that? Y'all can see that. Y'all can see that. Anyways, I'm about to roll this up. What y'all think about this? I know it's not real, Jeff. I know it's not real, Jeff. I said that I think this is the way it should open. Like if somebody wanted the blueprint of how Avengers Doomsday should open, this should be it. Jeff, you said play the video again? All right, brother. Let's do it. Let's do it. I got some time. Let's do it.
The exiled one has fallen. The one who called himself He Who Remains no longer guards the flow of time. Our shadows recede. And now, the multiverse shall behold its true sovereign. Kill him! What have you done? I removed the noise. Where is it? It's no longer under our control. A throne beyond time. Give me a name. Loki. I can help you. I don't think so. We'll meet soon, Loki.
What are we thinking? What are we thinking? Is this the way that Doomsday should really start off to establish Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom as a real threat? If anybody need any like blueprint on what they should do to wrap up the Kang story. And here's the thing, even with this right here, even with this situation, you're wrapping up the Kang story, but you got to remember the Conqueror, the original Conqueror, is still lost in that multiversal engine core time storm, mobility storm, or whatever. He can always return. Jeff from Death Row said, I actually like that video. So did I. That's why I showed it to y'all. Like that, they're getting very, very close. Hollywood go to talking about not making movies that we want. Motherfuckers just gonna start doing shit like this. Fuck it. I'll just make the scene, the whole movie, piece by piece, scene by scene, and then put it together. Release it on YouTube and do numbers. I'm telling y'all. Hollywood better put it together, because I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a part of that whole team of folks that still want the Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. I still want that. Sorry, I still want it. But y'all tell me y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and y'all tell me how y'all feeling about that video right there. Like my boy Jeff from Death Row said, he likes it. I fuck with it too, which is why I showed it to you. I might make a whole video just reacting to that alone, because I feel like more people need to see that. But anyways, on to the next one. They actually released a trailer at CinemaCon here for Avengers Doomsday. And they released a trailer or first looks at Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Let me see. We're gonna pull up some talking points here. Let's see if we can go with Spider-Man first. All right. You know what? Let's go with it's looking like New Rockstars is gonna be the thing today. Hold on, y'all. This is by way of New Rockstars. Let's check out what they got to say about the Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. We're finally getting some information on that. If y'all can remember, Across the Spider-Verse was supposed to happen 1 year, and the very next year, Beyond the Spider-Verse was supposed to come out. Then we had all the writer strikes, all the funny stuff with all of us being locked inside. Needless to say, now the movie's coming out. We need to see the end of this great trilogy. Is it a GOAT? Very rarely do you have situations where there's a 1 was fired, 2 was fired, 3 was fired. Is this some GOAT territory we're gonna be talking about? Let's check it out by New Rockstars, y'all. Give them a like, comment, and subscribe. I know I did. And let's get to it.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown and description of the scene and trailer footage for Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse, the third and final Spider-Verse film that I was fortunate to see footage from at CinemaCon in Las Vegas this week for this movie that's coming June 17, 2027. I gotta say, this footage got the most explosive reactions from the crowd in attendance on Monday night's Sony showcase. And after you hear what I describe from this footage, I think you'll understand why. So allow me to go through what I saw exactly, line by line, moment.
Hold on, y'all. I'm rolled up here. Cheers, everybody. Cheers. If you got your L, if you still here smoking, put your lighters up. Go ahead and light up, y'all.
By moment to explain what to expect from the opening scene of the completion of the Spider-Verse trilogy. Before I get into it, this Friday, New Rockstars is doing another live show, Friday, April 17th in Los Angeles at the UCB Theater. And you can see the show in person or wherever you live via a discounted remote link. We're going to be joined by special guest, Saturday Night Live writer, comedian, and friend of the show, Carl Tart. We're going to be doing a staged reading of the unintentional Spider-Verse film. They announced that the film was about the development took to the stage to update us about the development of the Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse film. They announced that the film would be in a 1.43 to 1 aspect ratio to work best on IMAX and other PLF screens. That's awesome. And yeah.
So we're getting the new Spider-Man in IMAX. You know, they saying, I want to say Avengers Doomsday, they won't be showing it in IMAX. Spider-Man, we're getting that in IMAX. hopefully we get a live action Spider-Man Brand New Day here in a few months. We get that in IMAX as well.
That is the aspect ratio of the footage that we saw in the theater. Then they just threw to what they said was the opening scene of the film. And suddenly we're right back where 2023's Across the Spider-Verse left off. Remember, Miles Morales is stranded in the wrong universe, Earth 42. Right. Because after being chased by Miguel O'Hara and the rest of the Spider Society for being an anomalistic canon event violator in the Great...
Jeff from Death Row says that Morbius movie was trash. Yes, it was. Let me ask you, since you mentioned this, do you believe that Sony should, which what they're doing, they're rebooting that Spider-Man villain universe? I don't know why you're rebooting a universe of Spider-Man villains and you still won't fucking put Spider-Man in there. Don't nobody want to see that shit. I hated all the Venom movies. I hated the Morbius movie. The what was it? The Craven movie was trash. Now, all of these movies might have been decent if there would have been a Spider-Man they were working up to. If you didn't want to hire a new Spider-Man to be in that weird ass universe that they have over there full of villains, Morbius, Craven, Venom, you know what I'm saying, and all of that. And then Vulture got moved over there because of the spell, if y'all remember, right? If you don't want to hire a new Spider-Man, this would have been the perfect time to bring back Andrew Garfield, make him the Spider-Man of that universe, which would have led into an Amazing Spider-Man Part 3. But what do I know? What do I know, man?
Grand scheme of the arachno-humanoid poly-multiverse, Miles said, nah, I'm gonna go home, and ended up going back into the device that Margot Kess was running that is supposed to send anomalies back to their home realities. But since Across the Spider-Verse revealed that the spider that bit Miles actually came from Earth 42, a spider that planned to bite a very studious Miles G. Morales before that spider was brought into 1610 by Dr. Jonathan Owen, aka The Spot, the mix of the spider DNA in Miles' blood ends up...
Jeff from Death Row says they should bring Wesley Snipes for a Marvel Blade movie. Seeing as though they keep disrespecting Mahershala Ali the way that they keep disrespecting him, right? Might as well bring back Old Man Blade and do like a Logan version of the Blade movie where you're giving him a real send-off. Do I want to see Blade die at the end? No, because Blade don't do no dying. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's not a person who you see dying. Should they bring back Wesley Snipes for an Old Man Blade movie? I'd watch it, but are we still in the mood to see Mahershala Ali as Blade, or do we want to move on to a younger character, a younger actor, I should say? But yeah, I'm down if they bring back Wesley Snipes for a Blade movie.
Sending him to that spider's reality of Earth 42. And Earth 42, without a Spider-Man in it to keep it safe, is now being overrun by the Sinister Six cartel. And Earth 42, Miles' police captain father Jeff has died. And in this universe, Miles G. Morales has become the Prowler, and Uncle Aaron is still alive, as uncle and nephew end up working together to commit some petty crimes that seem to be crooked, but I think are actually noble in a Robin Hood kind of way. Because if cartels are really the law of the land, ripping off the cartel doesn't make you that bad of a guy. In my various videos about the 2023 film, I pointed out how in the shots of Miles swinging throughout Earth 42.
Think about it. The last time we saw this was 2023. In 2024, we were supposed to get Beyond the Spider-Verse. Writer strikes happened, but I'm not that mad because maybe it gave it time to make the third film just better than 1 and 2 already it was. First one of these movies was fire. The second one was fire. Maybe the third one is just going to be out of this world fire. So, you know, if you need to take the time to do that, I'm with it.
You can see various signs pointing to different members of this Sinister Six cartel. We see Vulture Telecom. There's actually a sign for just 2G cell coverage from Electro. Yeah, it seems like the Sinister Six cartel.
Now what's gonna be funny is if fucking Deadpool trolls y'all and he says that last movie was not Deadpool 3, it was just Deadpool and Wolverine. This next movie I'm coming out with, that's actually Deadpool 3. That would be funny as shit. But now, he did definitely say there's only ever been one Blade. There's only ever gonna be one Blade. Yeah. And then he came back and whooped ass in that movie. I don't know if we want to see Mahershala. That's a good thought right there. I don't know if we want to see Mahershala, man. You got big shoes to fill. You don't even know karate like that.
Cartel is just dooming everyone with very crappy telecommunications. And then later on the rooftop, you can see a sign that says Hammerhead in neon and a green and yellow sign for Scorpion. So those are 4 known Spider-Man villains who could be part of the Sinister Six cartel. That would leave 2 others who seem to be some of the higher ranking members of it. I think one could be either Doc Doc or Green Goblin, and I think the leader of it is going to be the Earth 42 Kingpin, for a reason I'll get to later. So this Beyond the Spider-Verse scene kind of reconfigures some of the final moments of
and this is how we get Kingpin back, because I've been hearing whispers in the wind that we were going to get Kingpin back in part 3 of this. I didn't know how because he died in the first one, remember? But if he's a variant, yeah, that's too easy. Jeff from Death Row says, my favorite Marvel character is Gladiator. So you like all of that, all the champions and all of them, the Shi'ar Empire and all of those kind of guys. I like that. That's fire. That's fire. That's an old school Marvel day, man. We might be on age if Gladiator is your favorite character.
Across the Spider-Verse and inserts some new lines, kind of like how Back to the Future Part 2 completely reshot the ending of Back to the Future Part 1 in a shot-for-shot recreation just to recast Jennifer and add some new context, Biff context. But still, here Miles is chained to the punching bag in Uncle Aaron's apartment after Miles was knocked unconscious on the rooftop by something that ended up being Miles G. Morales, Prowler of this universe. This is the same punching bag that Miles and Aaron worked out on in the 2018 film, and the one Peter B. Parker was tied to, which comes back in this scene in a great way. And we know from the punching gloves and the speed bag that we saw in Miles G. Morales' bedroom that this kid must train actively on that punching bag. Our Miles, in a daze, notes, there's no Spider-Man here. And as he rotates on the punching bag, he calls out to the Uncle Aaron of Earth 42 and says, please, I don't belong here. I have an Uncle Aaron too. I had one. Then Miles remembers Peter B. Parker's voice echoing from the 2018 film, telling us that his Uncle Aaron in Earth 1610 isn't really someone Miles can trust, saying he's a bad guy working for Kingpin. Then we see a repeat of this exchange from the 2023 film.
Trust me, I know you don't want to be the Prowler.
I'm not.
And once again, we see Prowler, Miles G. Morales, in the rafters, watching Miles through his infrared goggles. He actually sees Miles in the red and blue colors that 1610 Peter Parker eventually saw Miles in before initially seeing that Miles in the colors of green.
Now, I'm wondering within all of this, are they going to make it some way to where Miles G. Morales ends up getting bit by a radioactive spider anyway once he crossed paths? Somehow he crossed paths with this Miles and he ends up being Spider-Man anyway in that universe, because obviously Miles can't stay there. That's not his universe. So are they going to leave Miles G. Morales powerless, or is he going to get the spider powers some other kind of way? They cannot leave that world like that. I know Miles isn't going to do that. Jeff from Death Row said the best Kingpin was in Daredevil. I forgot the brother name that played the character. You're talking about the Ben Affleck Daredevil? Oh, that was John Coffey. John Coffey. Yeah, that was him. That was him, man. Salute to John Coffey. Rest in power to John Coffey, man. Green Mile, Kingpin and Daredevil and all that.
In purple through his Spidey sense. That was his Spidey sense's way of telling him that there's gonna be a spider that bites this kid that comes from a green and purple universe. As Prowler steps up, once again, Uncle Aaron tosses him his gauntlet claw and Miles G. Morales puts it on. It's awesome. Reminder that Miles G. Morales is voiced by a different actor, Jarrell Jerome. And now, instead of the exchange about the 1610, Miles' father from the 2020.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's boy from what is it? I'm a Virgo, where he's the tall giant. I want to say it's either on Peacock or Prime Video, but I did notice that the Miles from Earth 42 and the Miles from 1610 did definitely have different voices. They even had sort of different accents. He sounds a little bit more, Spanish for real. Salute to my man Dom's gas station. It's no cap DC. Salute, my boy. Again, tell me where you're from. Tell me what you're smoking on and what you're smoking out of. Today's strain of the day, if you're just joining us, is creme brulee from none other than JK Distro. And I'm smoking out of a Russian cream camo leaf. I ain't lying to y'all. It's right here. It's right here. Yeah.
Jerome. And now, instead of the exchange about the 1610, Miles' father from the 2023 film, Beyond the Spider-Verse has the two Miles kind of jumping straight to introductions.
Who are you?
I'm Miles Morales, but you can call me the Prowler.
You have to let me.
I'm Miles Morales. See, Miles Morales. Spanish niggas hit the Miles Morales. Yeah, you already knew it was somebody different.
Go.
Why would I do that?
But what this scene shows is that when Earth 42 Miles' Prowler gauntlet lights up, a surge of electricity runs into Earth 1610 Miles' hands as they are bound in the chains. That's what gave the little spark of electricity that we saw at the end of the 2023 film. But the exchange we just heard them say is the last thing the two Miles say to each other in the 2023 film, and this Beyond the Spider-Verse scene extends the conversation. Tell me, who are you? I'm Miles Morales. Miles Morales? Can't even say it right. Yeah, the two Mileses now repeat their last name as Earth 42 Miles emphasizes the more Puerto Rican pronunciation.
See, I knew I wasn't the only person that heard that. I'm Miles Morales. Yeah. Puerto Rican and shit. Puerto Rico.
Whereas Earth 1610 Miles' pronunciation is more Americanized. I like this detail because it shows how Earth 42 Miles was raised more so by a single Puerto Rican mom, whereas Earth 1610 Miles was raised by his Puerto Rican mother Rio and his still alive black father Jeff. Earth 1610 Miles says, I got a B in Spanish. Yeah, of course, that's a great callback to one of the funniest moments of the 2023 film.
And a B in Spanish.
What?
Ooh, okay.
Miles,
Are you trying to
mira,
kill
eso
your
es
mother?
imposible.
That's a little embarrassing. I ain't gonna lie. Being Hispanic and getting a B in Spanish, yeah, that's a little embarrassing.
I mean, eso no es my fault.
¿Qué es eso que esto no es my fault?
Yeah, I love that detail of her snapping at her son, forming a Puerto Rican flag.
This April is
I never
nuts
noticed
for
that.
TV.
That was
Just
fire.
on this channel, we're covering Daredevil, Invincible, The Boys. It is so much to keep track of, and nothing's more frustrating than going to watch a new episode and finding out your streaming service has it blocked because of your location. That's not an issue when you're using ExpressVPN.
Hold up. I don't get paid for this. Hold on, y'all. Here we go. All right. Back to the lecture at hand.
Taunt and lecture his variant on how to roll the R in Morales. It's really funny, but now Miles interrupts. I just want to go home. Why do you look like me? Why are you so different now? Why are you wearing my favorite jacket over that messed up leotard? Why are you a bad guy? Are you bleeding from the armpits? What is this? So remember, when Earth 1610 Miles came into this bedroom thinking it was his home universe, he instinctively tried to hide his Spider-Man suit from who he thought was his mother, and he put on Earth 42 Miles' green and purple jacket over his suit. And the whole bleeding from the armpits thing is the running joke from Across the Spider-Verse, first brought up by Hobie Brown, and then several characters in the Spider Society, all mocking Miles' suit design with the red fabric running from.
You want to know something? I mean, I remember them saying this in the movie, but now with him having his hands up, it definitely does look like he's bleeding from his armpits. That is a stupid place to have a red stripe. Yeah, I could see that.
From the armpits down the sides of the body. Now Earth 1610 Miles focuses up. My dad is gonna die in 2 days. How do you know the exact day your dad is gonna die? You won't understand. Try me. It's called a canon event. Okay, you tried. It's something that happens to people like me and you over and over again in every universe. A police captain who's close to a Spider-Man dies saving a kid from falling. You know how dumb that sounds, right? Yeah, in this part, we see.
I believe in this movie, Miles Morales from 1610 is going to have to explain to the other Puerto Rico Miles Morales about canon events and everything. That's what I'm saying. How is he can't leave that universe just leaving him as the Prowler. He's going to need some spider powers. Is Miles G. Morales going to get spider powers and he's going to leave that universe to him like, you got it now, it's up to you, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. We could see a lot in this Beyond the Spider-Verse movie.
The canon event display that Miguel O'Hara showed Miles and the others in the Spider Society in Across the Spider-Verse. Remember, with the interlocking nodes of the web of life and destiny? In this node, we see Gil Kane's actual comic art from Captain George Stacy's death in 1970's The Amazing Spider-Man number 90. And of course, Gwen Stacy's father, George Stacy, serves as a kind of variant of Miles Morales' father, Jeff. Now Uncle Aaron chimes in asking, what the hell is a Spider-Man? Because remember, in Earth 42, the spider was going to bite Miles G. Morales while he was in school one day, and there was no Peter Parker stage of that succession. That Miles was going to be the one and only Spider-Man of that universe until Dr. Owen ruined it by extracting that spider from Earth 42. So
that is why Miles got sent to this Earth 42 because he got bit by the Earth 42 spider. The Earth 42 spider, his DNA is mixed with his DNA. So when he jumped in the machine, sending you back to your home of origin, it sent him back to Earth 42 because that's his original origin. Y'all get what I'm saying? I can't wait to hear the description of this trailer though.
Earth 1610 answers Uncle Aaron saying he's a superhero, and Prowler Miles says that sounds even dumber. Like, even the idea of a superhero is just dumb to them. Now 1610 Miles glitches again while he's on the punching bag, because remember, Miles was doing that in Earth 42. It's what every spider variant does when they're in the wrong universe for too long. Actually, glitching is what caused Miles to realize he was not actually in his home universe.
Okay, wait, so that whole conversation he's been having this entire time, this is what's happening in the actual trailer. We can't see it yet because they haven't released it.
So Aaron asks, why are you doing that? Mad glitching. No. I don't know what your lightning might do to me. I don't want to hurt you. Oh, hurt us. You heard that? You know, you're pretty mouthy for a guy chained to a bag. And then Miles says, yeah, well, you know what they say. Don't watch the mouth, watch the hands. Yeah, Miles does the hand thing. He perfectly recreates Peter B. Parker's move from the 2018 film when Peter B. Parker was tied to this same punching bag. Miles uses the glitching to free himself. The chains drop to the floor, and now he zaps Earth 42 Miles and Uncle Aaron, and we see Miles' skeleton in that electrocution. So what follows from this explosion is kind of a frenetic montage of new shots of the film that are almost too eye-popping to describe. But Sony has released a lot of these in the form of stills, and I think we could start to talk about these.
This one right here with Spider-Man 2029, it looks like he's going 1v1 versus Miles. This is crazy right here.
There's this kind of heartbreaking shot of younger Aaron and younger Jeff. Younger Jeff seems to have an uptown fade here. Both of them looking back at us while we're in the back seat, which makes me think that they're actually looking at younger Miles G. Morales from Earth 42. This might be right before Earth 42 Jeff dies in the line of duty. Now, why do I say Earth 42 for this shot? Well, notice that the dashboard is a shade of purple, and there seem to be some green tones in the image, making these the colors of Earth 42. Also, I think it's going to be even sadder if we see some flashbacks from Miles G. Morales' perspective. Also, fun Easter egg here. Notice on that dashboard, you can see that they are listening to a track by rapper MF Doom. That's really fun because MF Doom would dress himself in the style of Dr. Doom from Marvel Comics. And Beyond the Spider-Verse is going to come out exactly in between Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Could Secret Wars be where we finally meet a live-action Miles Morales? In summer 2025, Kevin Feige said that they had to wait until after Beyond the Spider-Verse before bringing a live-action Miles into the MCU. And
yes, we will see him in Secret Wars. You heard it right here, right there. We will see Miles Morales played by God knows who in Secret Wars. So we can expect to see that next year. We can expect to see that next year. I can't wait. It's going to be so fire, man. I'm telling you. Tell me if y'all ready to see live action Miles Morales. And at that point, we're probably going to get live action Spider-Gwen as well. They're going to need all the help that they can get on that Secret Wars situation. Spider Island, if they do this the right way, is going to look so crazy.
Secret Wars is going to come out 6 months after. Among the montages, this shot of Miguel O'Hara beating the shit out of Miles, and this shot of Miles and his dad.
Hold on, did they just say, let me see this?
And Secret Wars is going to come out 6 months
after 6 months after Beyond the Spider-Verse. What if in a post-credit scene for Beyond the Spider-Verse, his reality, Miles Morales, universe 1610, it starts cracking and he sees all his friends and then it all goes white on some boom. Everything is, you know what I mean? What if this leads directly into Secret Wars and this is the live action Miles Morales that we get for Secret Wars, the one that we've been watching since the beginning of the Spider-Verse. He just steps into the live action world and somebody plays him as a real actor. That would be kind of fire to me.
After. Among the montages, this shot of Miguel O'Hara beating the shit out of Miles, and this shot of Miles and his dad in a loving moment, and then this shot of Spider-Punk, Hobie Brown. I wrote down in my notes that he has a line in this montage: you're gonna save your dad, beat the spot, and shake Miguel's whole game by yourself. Yeah, this is part of us seeing all of the characters from the past two films returning in this footage. There's a moment where Peter B. Parker hands baby Mayday to Spider-Ham saying, "Ham, hold my baby." And John Mulaney's voice comes in as Ham saying, "Gladly, but I'm all out of milk." We see some pretty creepy shots of the spot as his black ink seems to be spilling out beyond his form as he says, "I just want to be taken seriously." And I'm almost certain that we do see an alternate version of Kingpin in here, which is interesting to see now that the MCU Kingpin has just lost his wife Vanessa. And remember, in the 2018 film, it was Kingpin losing Vanessa and his son that drove him crazy into funding the Collider project to avert that canon event. And that's really what started all of this. This montage ends with Miles' mother Rio saying, "I asked you to be tough. You're not tough. You're strong." Remember, in the second film, a lot of us theorized that Rio's speech early in that film to Miles, remember, to take care of that little boy for me, was foreshadowing Miles' ultimate mission to take care of his variant brother from Earth 42, who did not grow up with a father. These two Mileses are not enemies, and Earth 42 Miles and Aaron probably aren't villains. They're just survivors, and all of these survivors are going to band together. So we're covering all the big news from CinemaCon with daily live streams and breakdown videos like this. Here's our schedule for our live streams. And
Okay, how are we feeling about the description of the Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse trailer that will be coming out next year, along with Secret Wars coming out at the end of next year? Could we see a live action Miles Morales? We're already getting a live action Spider Noir. We're already getting that. You know, Nick Cage got his own show that's about to come out with him and Spider Noir. Could we see that same Spider Noir in Secret Wars? This is a big chance for them to open the door to do any and everything before they soft reboot the universe. Speaking of Doomsday, which is why I know a lot of y'all here for that description right now. Hold on for a second. I'm gonna get us right. Let me separate the separates. Yeah, tell me how y'all feeling about that one, man. I'm hyped about Beyond the Spider-Verse is coming out next year. I'm with it. Finally, let's get her done. And if we do get a live action Miles Morales that comes from this same universe and he's just not cartoonified anymore, that'll be like the chef's kiss on bringing everything together. A lot of storylines out there, but I believe they can do it. Oh, let's see. We're gonna go by the way of Screen Crush. I like Screen Crush. Yeah, salute to Screen Crush. Please give them a like, comment, and subscribe as well. Let's check them out, man.
Welcome back to Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy, and today we are going to break down the Avengers trailer that was just released at CinemaCon last night. Now, this is releasing after a ton of new leaks and rumors this week, some of which were confirmed by this trailer. So we're going to explain the event and all the announcements that Disney made about the release, and then break down the description of the trailer. And remember, we just opened up new membership tiers. You can find them below, including exclusive watch parties and a 50% merch store discount. Links are below. Now, last night we live streamed all through the Disney panel, and a friend of the channel, Brandon Davis, joined us to give us his impression of the trailer.
Let me see what movies they got coming out. They said so we got the Star Wars, Mandalorian, and Grogu coming out May 22nd. Live action Moana comes out July 10th. The Devil Wears Prada 2 comes out May 1st. Toy Story 5, June 19th. Super Troopers 3, August 9th. You got Dog Stars, August 28th, I think. Whale Fall, October 16th. Wild Horse 9, November 8th. Avengers Doomsday, December 18th. You got Ice Age, February 2077. You got Hex coming out May or November 2027. And then Gato. Yeah. So they got some shit coming out, but you know what we here for.
Tonight, we live streamed all through the Disney panel, and a friend of the channel, Brandon Davis, joined us to give us his impression of the trailer.
That's the most emotional I felt about probably a movie without seeing the whole movie.
And we'll be hearing more from him throughout this video. So leading up to the trailer last night, Disney announced that they would be re-releasing Avengers Endgame in theaters in September of this year. Now they've
Okay, the reason why he just said that is because supposedly they are adding new footage and new post-credit scenes to Avengers Endgame. I've seen that thing how many times, it don't matter. You know what I'm saying? I've seen Avengers Endgame so many times, but the fact that they're adding new post-credit scenes and new scenes that lead directly into Avengers Doomsday, because Doomsday is supposed to be a direct sequel of Avengers Endgame. I'm going to the theater to see it. Asses will be in seats.
actually re-released the film before, where they added a deleted scene of Hulk that was originally meant to be the film's introduction of Smart Hulk. But in this case, they were teasing deleted scenes and new footage. And this is interesting because it can tell us a lot about Avengers Doomsday. The Russo brothers have said that Doomsday is a direct sequel to Avengers Endgame, which makes sense because it's not like a lot of people are invested in the ongoing story of the Multiverse saga. Unlike the Infinity Saga, there haven't really been enough sequels to get us invested in these characters. And in some cases, like Shang-Chi, oh my God, we're going 5 years between character appearances.
Bro, we haven't had a Shang-Chi 2 yet. And that was one of the best movies that came out of that weak-ass phase. What was that, Phase 4? Phase 4 was so buns, bro. But this was, in my opinion, the best movie that came out of that. Come on, man.
In the MCU. But what intrigues me is this idea that they're adding new footage to Endgame. Now, I talked a lot about this in our Screen Crush Rewind podcast. We threw out different theories, and here's the one that I think is most likely. Remember how Endgame didn't have a post-credit scene? They just kind of ended with the sound of Tony Stark building his armor. Colton suggested that that scene could turn out to not be Tony, but instead it's Dr. Doom forging his armor. This would create a perfect bridge between Avengers Endgame and Doomsday without affecting the rest of Endgame by inserting like Dr. Doom in the background like a Where's Waldo. I mean, if you have any theories or ideas on what the new footage can be, let us know down in the comments or on our free to join Discord server. Now, another possibility could be that we will see directly how the Avengers are responsible for all the problems in the Multiverse saga. Right.
That definitely is a situation that would bring you back to the theater to see a movie, a classic movie that you've already seen before. You know, I'm a fan. I'm already there.
Well, the Avengers essentially broke the space-time continuum. Every time they traveled into the past, they created a branching timeline. And of course, that led to Loki escaping with the Tesseract, which of course led to the events of the show, Loki. A very long story short, at the start of that series, there was one singular sacred timeline. But by the end of it, Loki had taken control of a giant multiversal tree with infinite realities branching from it. And this means that there are now infinite chances for incursions like the one we saw in the Doomsday trailer. Now, incursions are taken from the comic event Time Runs Out, which it seems like Doomsday is going to be adapting. And that event dealt with incursions, which this Reed Richards variant explained here.
An incursion occurs when the boundary between two universes erodes and they collide, destroying one or both entirely.
So after Loki begins,
I need for them to bring back John Krasinski in Secret Wars as Mr. Fantastic. I need them to just to bring him back. Go ahead and give us the Council of Reeds. Jeff from Death Row says Thanos is trash, bro. Marvel copied DC Darkseid and failed miserably. I don't know. I have heard that this was a copy, but as far as what they're doing live action with the two characters, Thanos is like one of the most goated villains of all time now. We saw 1 to 2 to 3 lines from the CGI, not that Thanos isn't CGI, but the super CGI version of Darkseid in the Snyderverse. We didn't even really get to see him do his thing, but within the montage. I know he clipped Aquaman. That was pretty fire, but we really didn't get to see Darkseid really do his thing. So, yeah, it's going to be Thanos all day for me, man. You know what I'm saying? But as comic book wise, I see what you mean. So Who's more powerful than Doom and Thanos? Different versions of different characters. Because Rune King Thor can 1v1 Doom. Man, hold on. Let's get to this. And Squirrel Girl has beat Thanos in the motherfucking comics, nigga. Yeah.
As the infinite replication of the multiverse, realities begin to collide, which is creating rot on the multiversal tree that will eventually end the multiverse. Adding to this, we get the new synopsis for Avengers Doomsday. In Avengers Doomsday, beloved heroes from 3 distinct universes will be set on a deadly collision course and face an existential threat unlike anything they've ever encountered. Now, the heroes from the 3 distinct universes are the 616 MCU, the Fantastic Four's 838, and the original X-Men universe. The collision course are each of them trying to fight off incursions, and the larger threat is Doctor Doom. Now, at CinemaCon, Kevin Feige said that this film not only culminates the multiverse saga, but it's also a capper for the Fox X-Men universe. Remember, this is where Kevin Feige began his Marvel career as an associate producer 26 years ago. So bringing the X-Men story to an end in this film is a true full circle moment for him. So now let's break down this trailer description, and we'll stop along the way to explain new information and casting rumors that could be fleshing this story out. And we're going to hear more from Brandon about his impression from the floor at CinemaCon. So the trailer opens with the Xavier School for Gifted Youngsters in ruins, because this mansion is basically always getting destroyed.
Okay, I see what they're going to do here because it's not dropped online yet. And shout out to Ryan Airy for even piecing this together the way he pieces it together. Goddamn. We're going to get the trailer by him describing it and piecing together scenes from other movies, and we're just going to follow along in the story with our imaginations. Y'all bake like me anyway. Y'all can picture this shit.
Now, past reports have said that this universe is now a utopia for mutants. So, if the mansion is destroyed, it's likely because of incursions. In the Time Runs Out storyline, the Avengers had to fight heroes from another world, and maybe the X-Men are now used to fighting off these kind of threats in this film. The reason this world is a utopia for mutants is because the X-Men have saved the universe time and time again. And then we hear the voiceover of Doctor Doom with Robert Downey Jr. putting on a vaguely Eastern European accent. He said, "Something is coming. Something we might not be able to defeat. Before this day is done, we shall divest with an unthinkable decision." Again, this is supporting the idea that incursions are forcing the heroes to make unthinkable decisions. They have to decide, will they destroy another universe to save their own? And then we see Victor Von Doom on a battlefield in a green cloak. And according to some reports, we get hints of his heavily scarred face. And this is followed by the Marvel logo. And then we go to Avengers Tower, which has received another makeover, as Brandon described it.
Which has the giant A with the red and then this new style A on the outside.
And 3 spires.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's kind of rounded now. It has 3 sort of curved triangular spires coming out of the circular shape. So it's like a very big overhaul to Avengers Tower, honestly, it looked like.
Just a second, person. I have a call from you. Hello?
Hello, dog. Can you download this file for me?
Why, certainly.
Doug, that's not me.
Sounds like you.
Hold on. I'm not getting paid for this. Excuse me. Let's fast forward it. There we go.
Is below. And this is a great deal. We have been working with NordVPN for years because we love this service. NordVPN.com/ScreenCrush. Now, back to what I was saying. Now, Avengers Tower has a red and white color scheme, kind of matching the uniforms that Red Guardian designed for them at the end of the new Avengers.
That Avengers with a Z will never not be funny, bro. I'm sorry.
And maybe Sam's Avengers have chosen a blue and white color scheme so we can tell the 2 teams apart. Remember, the Thunderbolts ended with a post-credits tease that was actually a scene from Avengers Doomsday, where we heard that Sam wasn't happy that they were using the Avengers name.
You know he's filed for copyright of the name?
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
And that teaser, of course, ended with the arrival of the Fantastic Four ship from Earth 838. After all, when the Fantastic Four arrive in a new universe, the first place they would go is their home, New York, to try and meet their alternate selves. Instead, imagine finding
Avengers.
And then we go to a council meeting in Avengers Tower. There's a wide shot of heroes, including the Fantastic Four and the Thunderbolts, led by Yelena, and the Avengers, led by Sam Wilson. Then we see Yelena Belova having a fight with herself, and afterwards, she shapeshifts into Mystique wearing a comic-accurate white costume.
Whoa! So that is Rebecca Romaine Stamos back on the battlefield as Mystique. She transforms into Yelena Belova the new what would she be? White Widow, and they go 1v1, and she transforms into her. I'm liking this.
And this is setting up that there will be a conflict between the 616 universe and the X-Men universe. And this is kind of a neat meta idea. After all, the Fox X-Men movies used to be in direct competition with the MCU. I mean, for a while, Marvel Comics were forbidding creators from creating New Mutant characters because they didn't want to feed the IP of the Fox movies. And then this leads into Shuri confronting Namor in a throne room. This is picking up their conflict from Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. In that movie, Wakanda went to war with the undersea people of Talokan, and Namor ended the film basically saying that Shuri would be back to ask for his help after the surface world attacked Wakanda. And that might still be the plot of Black Panther 3. Brandon also described that we see them in a desert and there is a wall of water.
So remember in Endgame when Strange cleared the water out and it basically, like at the remnants of Avengers HQ, it was much larger than that. It looked like, I think this was the footage we saw in those teasers that were released, where it looked like just a white sky behind them. Actually, it is like the interstellar wave off in the distance, much more animated to the point you can tell it's a wave and you don't think it's a mountain. But it's the Fantastic Four meeting Wakandans in what looks like a desert because it's just dry ground, because the water has basically been forced aside and it is
like
creating
Moses. Like it's just
it's like the water has split and it is being held out, and then I'm assuming as soon as they leave, whoever is causing it to be there, it will come back in.
And that, of course, implies that this is all happening on the ocean floor. Next, we go to the X-Men universe, where Xavier is watching an incursion happening in the sky, similar to what we saw in Multiverse of Madness. Now, remember, in that X-Men teaser, Magneto was narrating about how they're all going to die someday, and it was inevitable.
Who will you be when you close your eyes?
But it could be that the X-Men have already been fighting off incursions, and when they confront the Fantastic Four and the Avengers, that's when they decide it's time to stop fighting against each other and work together to stop incursions from happening again. And we know they're going to start off fighting because Alan Cumming has already claimed that his character Nightcrawler fights Pedro Pascal. The trailer also features what is apparently a kick-ass.
So we're going to get Nightcrawler versus Mr. Fantastic. How y'all feeling about that one? Who wins that? Well, what you know about the comic books, with what you've seen live action, with what you've seen in the comics, the cartoons, any version of Nightcrawler and or Mr. Fantastic that you've seen, who wins that? 1v1 Nightcrawler versus Mr. Fantastic.
Fight between Shang-Chi and Channing Tatum's Gambit.
Shang-Chi versus Gambit got a big pop. That was really cool.
Yeah. Now, this fight takes place inside the X-Mansion. Gambit throws charged cards at Shang-Chi, who deflects them with his 10 rings. So, given that Mystique shapeshifts as Yelena to break into a lab, we can assume that some Avengers travel to the X-Men universe and some X-Men travel to the 616. Maybe they do this by Deadpool using the sling ring he acquired in Deadpool and Wolverine, or by using the TVA tech that he stole earlier in that movie. In fact, maybe they're sending Mystique out to do dirty work with the more villainous characters who have a hard edge. People like Wolverine.
Hold on. Do we even know if Ryan Reynolds is in Avengers Doomsday to give these guys that tech that he's talking about? No, it would be nice though.
Wolverine. And this could be a team they send into other universes to be like Black Ops mutants, like X-Force in the comics. And then there's a quick scene of James Marsden's Cyclops in the comic accurate blue and yellow suit entering a room in the X-Mansion and using his optic blast, probably a part of the same fight against the Avengers. But the whole movie probably won't be Avengers versus X-Men. Recently, leaker Alex Perez said that Monica Rambeau is in this film. Now, at the end of the Marvels, she woke up in the X-Men universe, and maybe in this film, she could broker a kind of truce between these two sides. After all, she did a pretty good job mediating with Wanda at the end of WandaVision.
He's gonna burn Westview to the ground just to get what he wants. Don't let him make you the villain.
And then we see Johnny Storm crying and hugging his sister. And remember, First Steps ended with Dr. Doom talking to Franklin Richards. And a popular fan theory is that Doom has kidnapped Franklin. And we also, of course, saw a teaser where Thor prayed to Odin to be...
Okay. We saw a teaser where Doom kidnapped... We heard a teaser of Doom kidnapping Franklin, right? That's a theory. If Doom kidnaps Franklin, brings the Scarlet Witch back to life, cuts her a deal, he remakes reality at the end, and he don't need nobody. Jeff from Death Row says Nightcrawler will beat the brake fluid out of Mr. Fantastic. That's what I thought, bro. That's what I thought. I just, he could just grab him and just like teleport way up in the air and then just drop your stupid ass. Like, just drop you. He drop you right into a volcano and then teleport out. Be over with.
Ended with Dr. Doom talking to Franklin Richards, and a popular fan theory is that Doom has kidnapped Franklin. And we also, of course, saw a teaser where Thor prayed to Odin to be able to return to his daughter, leading to the theory that he also kidnapped Love. And remember, Love is gifted with the power of eternity, who is the embodiment of the universe. Now, add into this that it's been confirmed that Wes Holloway has been cast in the movie, maybe as James, the son of Steve and Peggy. This is all feeding into the idea that Doom has been out there kidnapping children for his own nefarious ends. We actually released a video yesterday where we talked about how his end goal would be to rebirth the universe with the help of Wanda Maximoff. That video is linked below. And there's also a shot of Namor flying in the desert where we saw the Wakandans meet the Fantastic Four. And this leads into Scott Lang kissing his daughter Cassie on the forehead. Now, in Quantumania, Scott ended the film terrified of Kang. And maybe if Kang is in this movie at all, Scott will be the one to say, hey, I fought that guy. He was no big deal. Got beaten by ants. But here's the thing. The inclusion of Cassie in the movie is very interesting.
They better fucking not. Hey, I fought that guy. He wasn't all that tough. He got beat by some ants. They better fucking not, bro. But you know what? They can do that with all the rest of them variants because the Conqueror is still in that Beyond verse within the multiversal engine core. There's a chance that they'll probably rehire Jonathan Majors back in a few years as Kang the Conqueror or recast that role and bring back that same character from the Beyond verse, and he'll be pissed off.
Quantumania, she followed in her dad's footsteps and became a superhero. And in the comics, she is a founding member of the Young Avengers. And the last time we saw Kamala Khan, she was actively recruiting that team.
Did you know Ant-Man had a daughter?
Colton did a great video last week about how the Young Avengers could be key to this story. Now, if Doomsday ends like the Time Runs Out story in the comics, then Doom will eradicate the multiverse and reinvent it as one world, Battle World, which he will rule as God Emperor Doom. In the Secret Wars comic,
did anybody read Secret Wars back when it came out 2015? Did anybody read the old school Secret Wars? Doom might not be a villain in this situation when we really see everything play out. He might not be a villain. He might actually be trying to save the multiverse. And there might be a way of thinking about it like sometimes in doing the greater good, people get in your way. They get in your way while you're trying to do the greater good. They might need to get clipped. I need to read Secret Wars. I read Public Wars. Okay. What's Public Wars?
Nobody remembers the old universe except for a select group of people who are on board of an arc. It could be that the Young Avengers survive this reboot on board the safety arc, and then they recruit heroes to oppose Doom's rule. Now, in this movie, heroes like Cassie would be in the background but take a prominent role in Secret Wars. And then we get to the next dialogue of the trailer. We see Thor, scarred up from battle, standing in the rain in a forest. It might even be the same forest where he prays to Odin, meaning this is just before his battle with Dr. Doom. In that case, it brings the story full circle. The first time Thor fought Robert Downey Jr. was in a forest.
Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
We see Thor in Avengers Tower meeting with the Avengers and the Fantastic Four. He narrates, pleading with everyone, saying, I fought with many warriors in my time. They were far stronger than all of us put together, and they died. They died facing enemies and threats that scared me far less than this one. So it seems like, just like in Infinity War, Thor is the first person to face this threat. Thanos kicked his ass at the start of Infinity War.
What is with Thor 1v1ing niggas straight out the gate, bruh? He get motherfucking the blood beat out of him, and then he come back and tell the Avengers, and Shawn Michaels talking to motherfucking Triple H, you can't beat him. If I couldn't beat him, what makes you think you could beat him? You can't beat the Undertaker at WrestleMania. It's never gonna happen. And that's what happened to you. You saw what happened when Cap 1v1 Thanos. It wouldn't have been for that little bullshit when he slipped and fell that one time, Cap might have got him out of there.
War and Doom kicks his ass in this film. It's also very possible that the Fantastic Four have also already fought Doom in their own universe. After all, we did see the empty Latvian delegation at the Future Foundation in their movie. I actually hope that's the case because Reed and Doom are old adversaries in the comics, and their relationship is the crux of this Secret Wars story. Now, if that's the case, then it would mean that Reed, a total stranger, shows up to talk about, oh my God, Dr. Doom's this huge threat. But the Avengers wouldn't believe him until they hear Thor talking about how this guy is a badass. And then we see Doom in action. He's fighting Thor in a forest. Now his mask looks similar to the poster that was already been released. So Thor jumps up to attack Doom with Stormbreaker, but then Doom just stops the axe in midair. Now,
he what? He stops that. We gonna see Chris Hemsworth and Stormbreaker just stopped in midair. Thor big ass in midair on some face ass with Doom just like this. Like, stop playing with me. This is gonna be crazy when it gets released. Oh man.
I know what you're thinking, and this has nothing to do with worthiness. Odin cast the worthy spell on Mjolnir and not on Stormbreaker. This is why Thanos could briefly catch the axe in Endgame. But remember, Stormbreaker is also a weapon that is filled with awesome power.
What kind of weapon are we talking about here?
The Thanos killing kind.
So Doom just stops this axe with the palm of his hand, because remember, he's not just a super science guy with high-tech armor. He is a sorcerer who is second in line for Sorcerer Supreme. Maybe he's able to stop the axe because he forged his armor out of vibranium and uru and then enchanted them with both science and magic. So
he very well could be the Sorcerer Supreme from whatever universe he comes from as well. Don't get that twisted. A Tony Stark variant that wouldn't want to be Sorcerer Supreme and Master of Science too? Yeah.
Impact from Doom stopping the axe creates a shockwave that levels the trees in the forest. Again, calling back to that first fight with Iron Man in the Avengers. Thor then says, put aside your petty squabbles. Presume nothing except this. If you return, we will return as brothers and sisters. And then the screen goes dark and Thor adds, we need a miracle. And this is when he looks off camera and says, it can't be. Steve Rogers emerges with long hair, a beard, and a worn tactical suit, similar to what he was wearing in Infinity War. He holds out his hand and summons Mjolnir from Thor's hand to prove that he is the real Steve Rogers. Steve just says, hey pal, and we go to the title card, Avengers Doomsday. Now, a previous trailer already revealed that Steve was returning, but we don't know why he has his shaggy look from Infinity War. Has he been tracking the multiverse trying to stop Doom or trying to save his kidnapped son? Also, if Thor has Mjolnir, that seems to confirm that his daughter was kidnapped. Remember, at the end of Love and Thunder, we saw that she's the one who uses that hammer. Reports have said that Steve and Thor are the main characters in this movie, maybe because they're both looking for their kids.
I just want my kids back.
So guys, that's all we have so far. Marvel opted to not...
All right, y'all. All right. How are we feeling about that trailer description? Doom catching Stormbreaker in midair. Shut up, bitch. Get up out of here. You know what I'm saying? How are we feeling about that? I don't know, man. That sounds kind of crazy to me, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. That sounds pretty tough to me. I'm definitely gonna be there for that. Salute to Screen Crush for that one. This has been a fire sesh, y'all. When the real trailer gets released, I will be coming right back here and we'll be looking at it, reviewing it, and going out in awe like everybody else. We're going to catch these breakdowns. We're going to put it in the air where it's fair, and that's just what it's going to be, man. Hey, this is the last Friday before the holiday of 420. I don't know if folks still celebrate that. I know I do just about every day, but you know it's about to be that day. Y'all take it easy, man. This weekend, this was a good Friday. Salute to all the offenders and all my true stoneheads that pulled up here, man. This has been another great session. The Offenders Initiative podcast. It's your boy Slave DBICN. We out.